What's the most awkward situation you were in? A couple years ago, my sister broke up with her boyfriend of 4 years, John. I guess my sister thought she could do better because she never gave him a reason. I felt really bad for him because I knew how much John loved my sister. He treated her well and even bought her a new car a week before she ended things with him. So he didn't understand where the breakup came from. I know how my sister is, and shortly before they broke up she started complaining about him over stupid reasons like showing up at her job as a surprise to pick her up or buying her roses. Basically she was complaining about things that any other girl would love. So when their relationship ended, I felt bad for John and started to hang out with him. He didn't do anything wrong and I wanted to remain cool with him, so we would go out to eat just to talk as friends and I would console him on the breakup. After all, he was a nice guy. One day, he was driving me back home after we went out to dinner and I had a couple of drinks in my system. He wanted me to get home safely so he drove me to the house. Keep in mind that my sister and I both still lived at home with our parents, so he was driving me home, and we decided to take the longer route which is on a quiet street so that we could finish listening to the song that was playing when we saw my sister's car parked on the side of the road. It was nighttime and her car was dark but we saw her shadow, and as we were driving slowly right by her car, we saw my sister mounted on some guy doing the deed with him. It was gross for me to see but I could only imagine the way that could have made John feel. His mood shifted immediately and I remember seeing tears well up in the corner of his eyes. I told him to quickly drive away so he did and he drove me home. At this point, I felt super bad for John, so I asked him to come in. We could have some ice cream and talk or watch a movie. I just really wanted him to get that sad look off his face. So he came in with me and I made ice cream sundaes for the both of us and we went up to my room. As we were sitting and eating ice cream, I noticed that I wasn't eating his sundae and realized this wasn't helping John, so I had a better idea. I had a few drinks in my system so I felt brave and made a move on him. I shifted my body and got on top of him without hesitation. He got the idea. As he was on me, I saw a spark light in his eyes and I knew that what I did was right. After about an hour and a half of hooking up, we both fell asleep in my bed and did not wake up until my sister came crashing into my room at midnight to ask me if I had eaten all the ice cream. To her surprise, she found her ex and me in my bed naked and freaked out. She started screaming and threw the TV remote in his head, saying that this is why she broke up with him and that she was suspicious of this all along. She told me she'd make me pay for this and that she would never forgive me. I felt bad because, at this point, John was crying and telling my sister that this was my fault and that he only did it because we saw her in her car doing it with some random guy when we drove past them earlier. She then marched away from my room screaming that she never wanted to see him ever again and that she hated both of us. I'm now sitting in my bed naked and afraid because I need someone else's advice on this. Is what I did wrong? After all, I did it out of good intentions, and my sister was the one who broke up with John. I know girl code exists but I don't think I messed up that bad.